Hello yogis, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krista, and for today's class I'm going to be guiding you through a Vinyasa Flow. For today's class, some props that you might need are 2 blocks, and if you have a strap or a belt at home, that will come in handy later on in the practice. And if you have a Spotify account, please check the description below. I always leave a playlist in the description that can kind of go along with this class. If you don't necessarily like the playlist I've chosen, I have lots to choose from my profile on there. And we will get started today in a seated position. So just come to a comfortable seat, hands on your knees. And when you feel settled in, just close down the windows of the eyes. And feel your upper body kind of lean back in space. Maybe take a long breath in through the nose. And with an exhale, open mouth. Let everything go. And just notice how you are showing up on your mat today. And can you meet yourself there? Can you meet yourself in the strength? Can you meet yourself in the weakness? Really exploring the poses in our practice today and feeling the body, feeling the breath in each and every posture. And coming to this practice and to each pose within the practice as if you're coming to it for the first time. So holding no expectation of how it should look like, how it looked like when you did it before, maybe last week. And holding no expectation of how it might look a few months from now. Just really honoring where you are in your practice in each moment. And just really start to hone in on your breath. Noticing the belly rise and deflate with every inhale and every exhale. Without trying to force anything, just allow your breath to be steady. And just very gently start to wiggle the fingers and the toes and flutter open the windows of the eyes. Let's create eagle arms by bringing the right arm underneath the left, trying to bring the elbows together and then wrapping the arms around, reaching the palms to touch. If this is not accessible for you at the moment, just bring your hands to the shoulders. Think of lifting the elbows away from the chest, fingertips reaching up towards the sky. And on the inhale, start to lift your chest, lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling a little bit more. And then exhale, round the spine. Think of crunching in towards your belly. Inhale, let's lift up. Exhale, let's curl it all in. One more time, inhale, really reach it up. And then exhale, hug into the center of the belly. Come back up to a neutral spine and just think of taking really big circles, drawing a big circle with your fingertips. So you're moving through the spine, nothing else is moving. The arms stay static. Yeah, so we're moving over to the left, creating that big circle. One more time in this direction. And when you come back up through center, we'll move in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Sits bones stay rooted down into the mat. Maybe feel your core start to awaken. And then come all the way back up through center. Release the arms. Give your arms a little shake. We're going to do that on the other side. This time, left arm underneath the right. Elbows come to touch. And then wrap your arms around each other so the palms touch, or reach for opposite shoulders. Inhale here, lift the chest, reach the fingertips up. Feel that stretch across the shoulders. Exhale, let's crunch it all in, round the spine. Inhale, let's lift up. Exhale, round the spine. Hollow out the belly. Inhale, reach the elbows away from the body, hands away from the forehead. Exhale, crunch it all in. Come back up to a neutral spine. Let's trace those big circles. Think of drawing a picture with the fingertips, a big circle, but only your spine is moving, so the arms are staying still. Yeah, so bringing some movement into the spine, the thoracic spine. Beautiful. Come back up to center and then switch sides. It doesn't matter what side you started with first. We'll do 3 in this direction. Last one. Come up through center, give your arms a shake. And just roll the shoulders up towards the ears, back and down. Let's do that again. Up towards the ears, back and down, releasing through those shoulders. So from here, bring your hands behind you, fingers point towards your bum, and the soles of the feet will come down onto the mat. And just drop down onto the forearms. So your upper body is staying upright. And you don't want to dump into the shoulders. You really want to lift up out of the shoulders, reaching up through the chest. And then from here, start to extend the legs up towards the ceiling, toes pointed. Think of squeezing the quadriceps here, legs nice and engaged. We're going to find some leg circles. So the option to keep your legs straight. If that's too much, just slightly bend the knee. So we'll start with the right leg. Draw it in towards the chest. Take it out to the side. Think of rolling that leg bone open, sweeping it down to the bottom of your mat. And then leg comes up to meet the left. We'll do that again. Beautiful. Creating these big circles through the hip joint. Firing up the core. Engaging the legs. Beautiful. Come back up to center. And then we'll do that on the other side. Left leg reaches out to the side. Open up that leg. Sweep it down to the bottom of your mat. Lift up. Keep that core nice and tight. Try not to drop through the shoulders. Beautiful. 2 more. Awesome. Now back to that right leg. Drop it down towards the bottom of your mat. Sweep it out to the side. Lift it up. Squeeze it in towards your body. And then come back to meet the left. Let's do that 2 more times. Keep breathing. Keep feeling the body. Last one. Beautiful. Left leg. Drop it down towards the bottom of your mat. Sweep it out to the side. Lift it up to center. 2 more. Beautiful. Bend the knees. Give your legs a little shake. If you need to, come down onto the back. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Yeah, roll out the hips a little bit. Relax those hip flexors. And we're going to come back onto the elbows, the position that we just were in. And this time, both legs point up towards the sky. We're going to take big circles, but with both legs this time. So straight legs is going to be harder. Bent knees is going to be a little bit easier. So we're going to start by drawing the knees in towards the chest. Take them out to the side. Yeah, drawing the knees away from the body. Keep the core nice and tight over to the left. Draw the knees in nice and tight. If you're keeping the legs straight, legs drop to the right side. Sweep them down towards the bottom of your mat. Yeah, keep moving. Whew, keep that core tight. Last one. Awesome. We're going to move in the opposite direction. This time, take them over to the left. Sweep them down to the bottom of your mat. Core nice and tight. Legs nice and engaged. 2 more. Last one. You can do this. Beautiful. Drop down onto your back. Hug the knees into your chest. Breathe. Bring the hands behind the thighs. Rock back just to kick yourself up to a seated position. Hands come behind you. Fingertips point towards your bum. Feet are hip distance apart. Toes point straight ahead. On the inhale breath, start to lift your hips up. Squeeze your bum. Chin tucks in towards the chest if it's okay for the neck. Head can drop back. Reverse table. And exhale, sink the hips back. Shoot them towards your hands. Staff pose. So we're coming into this straight L position. Legs are engaged. Feet are flexed. Beautiful. Soles of the feet come down onto the earth. Shift the hips, lift them up. Reverse table. Exhale, staff pose. Inhale, reverse table. Last one. Exhale, staff pose. So from here, cross at the ankles, bring the hands onto the mat. Step your feet back to come into downward facing dog. So this is your first downward dog of the practice. So take some time to pedal out the feet, to shake out the legs. If you need to for this first downward dog, keep a slight bend in the knees and think of sending your hips up and back in space. If your shoulders aren't quite ready for this yet, keep your upper body exactly where it is and just drop your knees down to your mat. Keep the upper body strong. And then slowly start to walk your feet up to meet your hands. Coming into a forward fold. Allow the head, the neck to be heavy. Keep a slight bend in the knees for this first one if you need to. And maybe your legs don't straighten today, but maybe over time, become more open. On your next inhale breath, lift up to a flat back. Fingertips stay on the floor or on your shins. And exhale, release and fold. Start to curl the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head and neck will come up last. Come to stand at the top of your mat, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. We're going to find 3 sun salutations, and I'll guide you through them. We're going to be modifying them, changing them up a little bit. So on the inhale breath, start to reach your arms up towards the sky. Maybe your palms touch, maybe they don't. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down onto the mat. Step your left foot all the way to the back. Hang out here just for a moment. Then step your right foot to meet the left. Drop your knees down towards the mat. Nice strong core. Really push the floor away, coming into this modified plank. Lowering in that straight line, start to bend the elbows, squeeze them in towards the ribs. Lower all the way onto the belly. Untuck the toes, inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Crown of the head reaching forward. Breathe. Exhale, lower the chest down. Push the hands into the earth. Send your hips back. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Stay here for 5 breaths. Really pressing the index fingers and thumbs into your mat. Keep rolling the armpits down towards the mat. With every exhale breath, sinking the heels a little bit further. Last breath here. Look towards your hands, bend your knees, step your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down by your side. That was 1. So we're going to do 2 more, just like that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Maybe they touch, gaze up towards the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. Pivot from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands into the mat. Step your right foot all the way to the back. Hang out here for a breath. And then send your left foot to meet the right. Hold here. Drop your knees down to the mat. Exhale, lower in that straight line. Chaturanga. From here, bring your hands a little bit further than your chest and about as wide as your mat. Inhale, start to press into the hands, squeeze the elbows in, engage the glutes, engage the legs. Coming into this seal pose. So we don't want to dump everything in our low back. You really want to think of trying to engage the muscles in the mid-back to create this back bend. And exhale, lower down. Bring the hands a little bit closer towards the body. Inhale, press the hands, straighten the arms to find your back bend. Exhale, release. Last one. Maybe hands stay where they are, come a little bit closer to the body. Inhale, let's lift. Pelvis stays dropping down towards the floor. Exhale, release. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, press into your mat. Send the hips back, downward facing dog. And we'll stay here for 1. Keep breathing for 2. Quietening the mind for 3. Noticing, feeling for 4. And last breath here for 5. Start to bend your knees, look towards your thumbs. Step or hop your feet towards the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down by your side. Beautiful. Last one here. Really starting to build a little bit of heat through the body. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, pivot from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down onto the mat. Step back to a high plank. Hold here. Think of tucking the tail between your legs. Squeeze your bum. Sending the energy out through the crown of the head and the heels of the feet. Yeah, like really grip into every pad of every fingertip. Try not to dump in through the shoulders. Really push the floor away. And we're going to lower for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower all the way onto the belly. This time, untuck the toes. Press your hands into the mat. And then start to pull your chest forward and through. Knees and thighs hover off of your mat, coming into upward facing dog. Exhale, curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Pedaling out the feet for 5. Gaze towards the center of your toes for 4. Sinking your belly towards your thighs for 3. Dropping the chest between the shoulders for 2. Last breath here. Nice steady breathing. Look towards the thumbs. Bend the knees. Bend the knees. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Reach the arms overhead. Exhale, come up to standing. Inhale, let's lift the arms up overhead. Drop the right arm down by your side. Inhale, lift through the left fingertips. And then take your reach over into the right, coming into this half crescent moon. Squeeze your bum. Think of tucking the tail between your legs. Core nice and engaged. Legs are engaged here. Breathe. Inhale, let's come all the way up to stand. Right arm meets the left. Exhale, left hand lowers down alongside the body. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then take your reach over into the left. Breathe. With every exhale, maybe sinking a little bit deeper. And then using your abdominals, lift yourself back through center. Both arms reach up. And then bring your hands to touch, thumbs behind your head. Finding our back bend here. As you inhale, start to reach the chest up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the glutes, engage the legs. With every exhale breath, you sink a little bit deeper. So on your inhale, you find a bit more length. And with every exhale, coming deeper into your back bend. And again, try not to dump all that weight into the low back, but evenly spreading it through the entire spine. And then exhale, come up to standing, drop the arms by your side. Inhale, bend the knees, send the hips back. Sweep the arms up high, chair pose. Keep rolling the eyes of the elbows up towards the ceiling. With every exhale, sink your bum a little bit further. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back, high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Flip over the toes, upward facing dog. And then curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Step your left foot on a 45-degree angle. Step your right foot between the palms. Setting up for warrior one. Inhale. Let's rise up. Reach the arms up overhead. So hips are relatively square to the top of your mat. Exhale, hands down. Step your right foot back, all 10 toes on the floor. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, roll through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot the right toes out. Step your left foot between the hands. Inhale, let's rise up, warrior one. Exhale, hands back down onto the mat. Pivot onto the right toes. Step the left foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll be here for 5 breaths. Slow, steady breathing. No fight, no force. Steady the mind with your breath. Look to the thumbs, bend your knees. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bring a generous bend into the knees, sink the hips, chair pose. Stay for 1 breath here, come up to standing, hands by your side. We're going to explore Padangusthasana. So bring your feet about hip distance apart. On your inhale breath, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, pivot from your hips to fold forward. Bring your peace fingers to hook around your big toes. And then on your inhale, lift up to a flat back. It's okay if the knees are a little bit bent here. And then exhale, think of sinking your chest down towards your thighs. Without trying to pull. And really breathing here, feeling, maybe exploring, shifting your weight into the toes, and see if you can straighten the legs a little bit more. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. And then exhale, release the palms. This time, we're going to bring our hands underneath our feet. So the palms face the soles of our feet. Toes come to the wrist crease. And again, bring a generous bend into the knees if you need here. Lift up to a flat back. And then exhale, sink the chest down. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then gently release the palms. Shake out the legs if you need to. Fold forward. Bring your big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Bring a bend into the knees, hips back. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down onto your mat, step back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot the left toes out. Bring the heel down, step the right foot between your palms, setting up for warrior one. Inhale on strong legs, start to reach the arms up. So hips are relatively square to the top of your mat. Trying not to flare the ribs open, but think of bringing the bottom rib and your hip bone together. Breathe. Start to straighten through that front leg. Sweep the arms around to your back, reaching for opposite elbows. Inhale here, lift up to the chest. And then exhale with a flat back, start to hinge forward. Maybe you stay to that flat back. If it's too uncomfortable for the knee, then bring your hands down towards the mat. Think of gently lifting the kneecaps, pulling that left hip forward, right hip back, and squeezing the thighs together. Beautiful. Inhale, come up, lift. Start to shift your weight into that right leg. Push off through the back leg. Fly the left leg behind you. Start to hinge forward, warrior three. Keep the bind here. Yeah, a little bit of an added challenge if you need to. Release the arms. Think of rolling that left hip down. And then exhale, come all the way up to stand. Just unhinge. Release the arms. Breathe. Bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Sit down into your chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down onto the mat. Step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, pivot the right toes out. Step your left foot between the hands. Once you found your footing, inhale, reach up, warrior one. Breathe here. Straighten through that front leg, sweep the arms behind you, reach for opposite elbows. Lift your chest up towards the ceiling and then exhale with a flat back, start to hinge forward. Yeah, lift that left kneecap. If you need to, maybe you heel toe that back foot in a little bit. Maybe that's more comfortable for you. Keep squeezing the thighs together. By engaging the quadricep, we're protecting that stretch that we're building through the back of that left leg. Yeah, stay here for one more breath in. And one more breath out. Inhale, come up to standing. And then start to bring a bend into that left leg. Push off through the back toes. Start to fly your right leg behind you, coming into warrior three. Ooh, this leg is a little bit unbalanced today. That's okay, it's gonna feel different between the left and the right side. Keep the bind if you can. And then slowly come up to standing. Right foot meets the left, release the arms, shake out the legs, shake out the arms. Breathe. We're gonna find our eagle pose on the left side. So left arm underneath the right. We did this at the beginning of class, so you can reach for the palms to touch or the shoulders. Maybe your arms a little bit more open right now. Start to sit the hips back, bend the knees, cross the right leg over the left, squeeze the thighs together. Squeeze everything into the midline of the body. Keep breathing. Elbows away from the chest, arms away from the forehead. Beautiful. And then start to unravel everything. We're going to balance on that left leg, finding our warrior two. Right leg's going to shoot back, bend that standing leg as much as you need until the right foot finds the back of the mat, warrior two. Coming into our side angle pose. Left forearm on top of the left thigh. That right arm reaches down and forward, spiraling open up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Option is stay exactly where you are or finding a bind here. So that top arm is going to come to the low back, reaching for the opposite hip. And then that left arm, you're going to bring your shoulder to the inside of that knee. That bottom arm is going to reach back for the hip, and maybe you find a clasp with the arms. And then roll your chest open up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Stay here for one more breath in. And then exhale, release the binds. Come all the way up, straighten through both legs. Pivot all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat, arms out in line with the shoulders. From here, hands on your waist. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Bring your hands down towards the mat. Keep breathing. Second toes are parallel towards each other. Gently shift your weight into the toes and see how that feels. Breathe. And instead of just letting your body go here, can you engage the front of your body? So think of pulling your chest, using your core muscles to pull your legs and your chest towards each other. Instead of relying on the weight of the body and the stretch of the back body to do it for you. So this way we're building a little bit more strength. Beautiful. Come up to a flat back. Pivot all 10 toes to the top of your mat. Walk your hands to frame your left foot. Step your left foot back, high plank. Pivot to the outside edge of the right foot, inside of left. Finding your side plank, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Yeah, nice strong core here. We're going to keep this flowing a little bit. So start to bend the knees, reach your arms down towards the bottom of your mat. Inhale, extend the legs, reach your arms to the top of your mat. Beautiful. Exhale, bend the knees. Nice strong core, strong shoulders. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, sink the hips. Inhale, side plank. Beautiful. Stay here. Drop the left hand down. Hover in your plank for a moment, and then we'll switch sides. Pivot on the outside of left foot, inside of right. Right hand reaches up. Beautiful. Start to bend the knees. Drop the hand down. Reach for the back of your mat. Inhale. Straighten the legs. Extend the arm overhead. Exhale. Reach. Inhale. Extend. Last one here. Nice strong core, yogis. Whew. Drop the right hand down. Come into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Look towards the thumbs, bend your knees. Look forward, step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Come all the way up to stand. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down by your side. Beautiful. Now we're going to do that on the other side. This time, eagle pose, right side. So this time, our right arm is underneath the left. Reach for the palms to touch. Bend at the knees, lower the hips. And then wrap the left thigh over top of the right. Yeah, squeeze the thighs together. Keep breathing. Hold here. One more breath. Steady breathing. And then start to unravel everything. Staying balanced on that right foot. Start to shoot the left leg out. Extend the arms. Slowly lower that left foot to the back. Find your warrior two. Breathe. Not staying in this pose long. Bring the right forearm on top of the right thigh. Sweep that left arm forward. Spiraling it open up towards the sky. Relax the shoulder down. Option is stay here or find the bind on this side. So that top arm is going to come to the low back, reaching for the opposite hip. And then you're going to drop that bottom shoulder to the inside of the front leg. And then reach that arm back to, maybe you clasp the hands together, maybe you don't. And only try to find that bind if you're able to bring that bottom shoulder really deep past that bent knee. Yeah, that's going to make it easier for you. Breathe. Beautiful. Start to release that bind very gently. Windmill the palms. Come in line with the shoulders. Straighten through that front leg. Pivot all 10 toes to the long edge of your mat. Bring the hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you extend the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Yeah, keep the kneecaps lifted as you fold. Arms will start to track overhead. And just allow the natural weight of the arms to be heavy. Releasing through the shoulders. Yeah, one last breath here. Inhale, come up to a flat back. Nice strong legs. Release the bind. Bring your hands down onto the floor. Pivot all 10 toes to the top of your mat. Step back, high plank. Pivot to the outside of the right foot, inside of left, side plank. Yeah, bend the knees, reach down to the bottom of your mat. Inhale, let's shoot it forward. Beautiful, let's keep it moving. Beautiful, inhale. Last one here. You can do this. Beautiful, bring the left hand down, pivot onto the toes. Pivot onto the other side, side plank. Bend the knees, reach down. Inhale, let's reach overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, reach. Inhale, reach overhead. Last one. Beautiful, right hand down, high plank. Chaturanga. Upward dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Steady breathing. When you calm the breath, you calm the heart rate. You calm the mind. Beautiful. Look towards your thumbs. Bend the knees, look forward. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Reach the arms high. Exhale, Samasthiti. Hands down by your side. Now we're going to reach for our strap. And we're just going to lasso the right foot. So bringing the strap to the balls of the feet. And we're just going to comfortably take that into one hand. I like to tie a little, just like one knot. And then it almost creates like a nice handle for my hand. So from here, I'm going to start to bend my right knee to hip height. And then straighten through that front leg. If you can reach for the big toe, you may not need the strap. Yeah, so reach the leg out in front, hold. Keep your quadricep engaged. Beautiful. Now start to externally rotate. Take that leg out to the side. Left hand on the waist. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Draw that leg back to center. Stay here for one more breath. And then drop that foot down towards the floor. Let's switch sides. This time, lassoing the left foot. We always have one side that's a little bit easier to balance. We have one side that's easier, that's a little bit more flexible. For me, my left leg is my least flexible leg. Okay, so From here, right hand onto the hip. Draw that left knee in towards the chest, and then extend that leg out in front. Maybe you need to adjust the strap a little bit. Beautiful. Keep the quadricep engaged. Think of squeezing the inner thighs together. Yeah, and then externally rotate that leg as you take it out to the side. Keep breathing. Squeeze everything into that midline. Steady breath, steady gaze. And then bring that leg back to center. Stay for a breath. And then drop that leg down. Beautiful. Release the strap off to the side. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, fold forward. Half lift. Fold, step back, high plank. This time, lower all the way onto the belly. So we're going to do something a little bit different here. So bring a bend into that right leg. Start to roll all the way onto that left side. So we're sitting up, coming into a seat, but our right leg is now bent, our left leg is straight. And then from here, come to sit up, nice tall spine. And we're going to find a little bit of a bind here. So again, same thing we did in our side angle pose. You're going to try to get the outer edge of that right shoulder to the inside of the right leg. And then just extend the arm out straight. So I'm just going to face the camera a little bit better here. So it's going to look something like this. That left hand you can use as a kickstand. And maybe that's enough for you here. If this is still too much, maybe you just stay here and think of squeezing that knee in towards the chest. If you do want to work the bind, what you want to do is if your shoulder can come past the knee, you're going to start to internally rotate the arm, reach for the hip. That opposite hand is going to come reach around and reach for the bind behind the back. So my chest, I'm staying square to that straightened leg. I'm keeping my left quadricep really engaged. And I'm thinking of bringing my chin down towards my knee. Keep breathing. Last breath here. Beautiful. Gently release the bind. Place your left hand back behind you. Press in through both feet. And then lift the hips, sweeping the right arm back. Wild thing. And then exhale. Drop the hips down. And then from here, we're going to roll all the way back onto the belly. We're going to do that on the other side. So this time, bend the left leg, push through the hands, lift the chest up, come to a seated position. This time, my left knee is bent, my right leg is straight. And then from here, I want to think of sitting up nice and tall, reaching my chest forward. So maybe I just bring my fingertips to frame that straightened leg. If I can get my shoulder past my knee, then I'm going to wrap my arm around, reaching for the bind. So find what works for you in this pose. Breathe. Think of very slightly rolling that right leg in towards the midline. Keep the quadricep engaged, reaching your chin down towards your knee. Stay here for one more breath. And exhale to release. Very gently release the bind. Right hand comes behind. Press into both feet. Lift the hips. Wild thing. Reach the left arm towards the top of your mat. Beautiful. Exhale, sit the hips down. Now roll all the way back onto the belly. From here, bring your big toes to touch. Legs nice and engaged. Think of drawing the pelvis down towards the floor. Bring the hands alongside the body. Finding your locust pose. Inhale, roll the shoulders, fly the arms, fly the legs. Yeah, breathe here. Really engaging the entire back body. And then exhale, release. Interlace the fingers. Straightening out the arms, lift the chest, fly the legs. Engage the entire back body here. Breathe. Can you lift a little bit further with every inhale? And then exhale, release everything down. Press the palms into the mat. Send your hips back for a child's pose. Come back to that steady breath. Nice long inhales and long exhales. Slowly start to come back up, downward facing dog. Finding on your pigeon pose on the right side, so the right knee comes to the right wrist. Lower the hips down. Slither that back leg further back behind you. And we're going to stay upright here, coming onto the fingertips. With your exhale, very gently start to lower your chest down towards the floor. Think of pushing your shin into the mat to lift your upper body back up. And then exhale. Beautiful, nice, slow, fluid movement. Beautiful. Last one to come up. And we'll just stay here for one breath in. And one breath out. Bring the hands onto the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Send the right foot back, downward dog. Switch sides, left leg forward. Right leg extends back. Finding your stance with your pigeon pose. Coming onto the fingertips. And as you exhale, start to curl the spine down. And using the strength of your left hip, push the shin into the mat to lift your chest back up. 2 more. Moving with your own breath, your own pace. 1 more. Beautiful. Just linger here for a moment. And then bring your palms down onto the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Send the left foot back to meet the right. Coming down into a seated position. Draw the right foot to the right wrist. And then left foot to the right wrist. Come to sit down cross-legged. Scoot your bum to the top of your mat. And then very gently start to curl the spine down, coming all the way onto your back. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Bring your arms into a T shape or cactus arms and lower your knees down to the right. If it's comfortable for the neck, take your gaze over to the left. Nice steady breathing. Really slowing down our breath. Slowing down our pace. Engage the core, draw the knees into the chest, and then exhale, lower them down to the left. Gaze looks over to the right. Come back through center. Hug the knees in one more time. And take any intuitive movements that feel good for you here. Rolling out the hips. And when you're ready, we'll come into our final Shavasana. So extend the legs one at a time. Really taking them out wide, taking up as much space as you can. And then tuck the shoulders underneath your back, arms by your side, palms to face up. And just settle in here. Really feeling the weight of your body sink deeper into the floor. Coming back to your breath, coming back to that space, that grounding that we explored at the beginning of practice. That we explored maybe in between and throughout our postures. Just really thank yourselves for coming onto your mat. Thank your body for doing some hard things. For moving, for breathing, for feeling. And just for honoring wherever you are in your practice. For maybe inviting a little bit of challenge. Or for honoring stepping away from challenge. Just honoring whatever it is your body needed and whatever your body was craving. Just say, thank you, body. You did good today. Thank you, body. You are strong. And start to take a loving breath in through the nose. And with an open mouth, let it all go. And feel free to stay here as long as you need to. And pause the video, play some relaxing music. And I'm going to end the class here. And thank you all for practicing, for honoring your body, your breath. And until next time, namaste.